Ruslan.
The View has been taking a lot of L's lately. All right. They try to have Coleman Hughes on to debate him on racism. He checked them with their own citations. I thought that was a massive W for that. And they had Jonathan Rumi on. They tried to bait him into a conversation about justice. He hit him with the Matrix. Right? And but sometimes you don't even need a ghost to take a massive L. Okay. So as goofy as Christians are with the rapture stuff and all the trumpets and all that stuff, as goofy as we are with some of that stuff, but gosh darn it, are we goofy? I think this takes it to another level. The mind virus of some of this, I don't know if it's activism, I don't know if it's cult stuff, it takes it to another level. So if you guys don't know who Sunny is, she is one of the hosts on The View, and she had this brilliant take where The View we're like, no, that's not what that means. That's not how any of that works. All right. When Whoopi Goldberg is correcting you about science, you know you're in trouble. Okay, you are in trouble. You need a lifeline. So let's look at this. This is wonderful. This made my day. Let's look at this wonderful clip. And I'm just glad that Christians didn't catch the biggest L.
That's a fact.
Can we be happy about that? Because let's be honest, this could have been way worse. There could have been a prominent pastor that came out and said a date. Like, this could have been way worse for us. So I'm just glad for a change around a major world event that we didn't take the best L. All right. So go ahead and play this, and we'll break it down blow by blow. Go ahead.
Leaving, we've got a solar eclipse. We've got the earthquake. She ran down the hallway.
The rapture is here.
The rapture's here. And then also I learned that the cicadas are coming. Cicadas.
Although I love
for the first time in like
No.
Well, out front, that should have been a sign. That should have been an omen for her. You're mispronouncing stuff. She gets paid to do this, by the way.
That's crazy.
She gets paid to do this. So out the rip, the cicadas, she gets corrected by Whoopi Goldberg. But this takes a turn. You guys aren't ready where this goes. I promise you, you're not ready for this. This takes a turn.
No.
Two different. Well, this is what I read. Two different times.
Two different kinds of cicadas.
Yes, two different times are coming.
The good cicadas and the bad
But
cicadas.
for the first time in many years.
No, every 17 years this happens.
Well, that's not what I read, but maybe you know better. But
in a
will
way,
say all those things together.
Listen.
Would maybe lead one to believe that either climate change exists,
That's
or something is
returning.
Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. It can't. I don't think that's...
It happens, and the eclipse. They've known about the eclipse coming because eclipses happen.
Leaving, we've got a solar.
Hold on.
Oh.
Just give me that last bit one more time.
I gotcha.
She said, perhaps climate change is real. And they told her, no. Earthquakes are underground. Climate is above the ground. None of this is connected, darling. None of it. Okay? The earthquakes is not connected to the climate change. The climate change is not connected to the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse is not connected to the earthquake. None of this is related. Okay, pull this back. Just give me that last 5 minutes. Just listen very closely. Listen.
Maybe lead one to believe that either climate change exists,
That's more
or
the
something
point.
is
returning.
Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. It can't. I don't think that's...
It happens, and the eclipse. They've known about the eclipse coming because eclipses happen.
Leaving.
Wow.
Yo! That was amazing.
Whoopi Goldberg is straight up intellectual.
Whoopi Goldberg is the voice of reason in the room. That was amazing.
She
Trust
corrected
the
her
science,
on
indeed.
4 things.
4 things, back to back. The cicadas. Someone had to break down to her that the earthquakes are underground. They have nothing to do with the eclipse. That the climate has nothing to do with the earthquakes. None of this stuff is connected. It's not that climate change is or isn't real. That's connected to any of this.
Yeah.
These are just phenomena. They're incredible phenomena. This is amazing. They happen. Right? She said every 17 years. Like, this is crazy. So I think this is a W for all of us.
Yeah.
I think it's a W for all of us because these are the minds, unfortunately, that are driving a lot of the views, pun intended,
Amazing,
of the soccer moms that are at home watching this stuff. Right? And then those soccer moms end up becoming the often dominant constituency that drive some of this stuff. And I'm not knocking anyone that's a soccer mom, but this is really bad. It's really bad. So yeah, definitely brain virus, brain rot. Because here's the thing. I'm not one of those guys that doesn't think climate change is real. I think climate change exists. Excuse me, I have a Tesla now. Before I had the Tesla, I had a Prius. Okay. We have solar panels on our roof. I have a Tesla battery wall. All of that, by the way, is not because I'm an ideologue driven by the apocalypse that's going to come in the climate environmentalist dogmatic cult. Right? All of that is strictly pragmatic. The technology is useful to me. I don't have an energy bill. We use a lot of energy with the studio.
Yep.
Use a lot of energy with my Tesla. And if something were to happen and we lose power, I'd have, a day and a half of power. And if it keeps staying sunny, I'll keep using my solar.
Off the grid, baby.
Super pragmatic. I could be off the grid, for real. Super pragmatic. So it's not that I don't believe that climate change exists. I do believe, and it's probably influenced by us, or at least by the Industrial Revolution. It's that I don't believe it's this imminent threat that's going to destroy the world, and the only solution is veganism and everyone being forced into having a Tesla.
Christspiracy.
Oh gosh, why'd you do that? You understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand.
So it's like, I think that we probably, but here's the flip side of the Industrial Revolution. The flip side to the Industrial Revolution is that developing nations that are being revolutionized right now through the advancement of technology and gases and oil and all that stuff are massively pulling hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. So your option is people starve because we are ideologically driven to make everybody drive an electric car, even though the United States lets out 15% of the global emissions, right? Who's putting out the global emissions? China and Pakistan and India, these places, right? The places that are developing the fastest, the places where people are getting pulled out of poverty fastest. So it's like, we could let those people starve from our pious place of being great environmentalists, or we can go, hey, when the technology catches up, we will then figure this sort of stuff out, right? And so if you look at some of the nations in Africa, they have 12 trillion, that's an incomprehensible number, $12 trillion of natural gas and oil that they want to dig in. And because of some of this goofy Western policy, they're not allowed to drill and utilize their own resources.
Yikes.
It's like environmental imperialism all over again. It's a really, 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 it's a bad brain virus. So her making these conclusions is just so bad and so asinine. But I'm glad she said this, because it just shows you how silly some of this stuff is, because it is another religion. That's the part, again, that's the theme for today. That was our video earlier. When you remove Christianity and you remove God, what's going to happen? Something else is going to rise up in place. In Europe, we're seeing 6,000 mosques being built. We're seeing it happen in real time. More people celebrating Ramadan, less people going to church, right? We're seeing that in real time. In America, it seems it's this vegan cult, environmental, all dogs, all roads go to heaven, new age, you're born in the wrong body spirituality. It's this leftist mind virus that's being propagated here. So you choose. What do you want, The View? You want 6,000 mosques being built in your backyard? Cool. Or do you want I could be healthy at any size while being a vegan, eating processed food, and being born in the wrong body, and equity for all, and no more meritocracy? You want, or you get that choice. Which one do you want? Or we could say, you know what? Maybe the values that built our society, maybe the fruit of these values and these ethics that we all want, maybe the root of those values is actually true, and that's why they've been successful. So I think society is going to have to choose. I think the West is going to have to choose. And this is just an example of the silliness of that. According to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask Him to move on my behalf. And two, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when He answers them. So I would urge you, Consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used for my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.